そして閉幕の鐘が鳴る。その目覚めは誰のものか。
After winning the fight, I returned to the now lifeless school. Almost all the people are gone. I'm the only master. I'm the last living human in this tournament. If human is the right word. Even all the NPCs that used to be here are gone now. There's no more use for them. The Holy Grail War ends here. Only the master and servant who won the Holy Grail War remain. Plus, one system anomaly. In any case, the path to the Holy Grail will open for the winner. Where could it be? While thinking about how annoying looking for it would be. Congratulations, you have crushed the dreams of all the other Magi. That is to say, you have won. The Holy Grail War ends here. A voice echoes through the speakers. It's a voice I've heard before. It was the voice I heard when I met my servant at the very end of the preliminaries. It's the guide created by the Holy Grail War system. It must be based on a real person, too. The path to the Holy Grail is open to you, Victor. Pass through the door to the battlefield once more. I still don't know any answers. Maybe they'll come once I get the Holy Grail. Hi, Tamamo. How do you feel about victory?
So, we managed to survive this long. Huh? Why am I being so gloomy? No, bad, cute fox girl. Tamamo is always bright and cheerful. Right, we should get going soon. We're only one step away from the Holy Grail of Desire. Let's go get it. But before that, I suggest that you be totally prepared. After all, who knows what's going to happen next?
I do. I've played this game before.
Ronnie!
She's not here.
But I want to talk to Ronnie.
Hold on, Kotomine. Oh, hey, there she is. Ronnie!
May I go with you? The fight is over, I see. Thank goodness, for I no longer wish to part from you.
Yes, the Holy Grail War is over. I don't see any more problems. Even I'm worried about Ronnie when she's away. So I don't object. Let me prepare just a little bit more. Sakura! Are you still here? There she is.
Congratulations, Hakuno-kun. It made me very happy that you kept coming to see me throughout the Holy Grail War, even if I didn't have much of a presence in the game. But if that's the role the Mooncell wished for me, it would be silly to complain. Alright, my parting gift to you will be a lunch. Huh? Please don't make that face. I haven't put anything strange into it. Alright then, I wish you the best of luck.
Sakura's supreme lunch!
Oh, am I done now?
Behold, the lunch of the Supreme. Maximum heals. let's go speak to the girls.
Your fight's over. I see, so it's to be an exchange of info. Aren't you the perceptive one?
You don't have anything unique to say, do you, Alco? Didn't think so. And hey, we're out of people to talk to, basically. Hello! Aren't you the eager student, even though you no longer have need of a teacher? Or are you just that fond of me? No, I'm not. In fact, I'm pretty done with this bitter priest. But like it or not, he's always been instrumental to my training and advancement. Even though he's nothing more than an AI, I wanted to say goodbye. Oh, you are a good student. Very well. Goodbye. Let me offer some final advice. It is not brief, but the Holy Grail won't be going anywhere. Advice? What advice could the father have now that the fighting is over? This isn't to guide you through a fight, but to enlighten you about what you will receive shortly. It may be fairly late in the game to ask this, but what do you know of the Holy Grail? I already know the basics to it. It's a supercomputer within the moon meant to observe, also known as the Moon Cell Automaton. It's an archive that's recorded the history of Earth, or rather mankind, since antiquity. And Magi have fought to the death to determine ownership of it. Oh, that's good for starters. Still, you need to know a few more details. As the last master, you ought to know. That crystal is the Moon Cell. Only in the past century has it become called the Holy Grail. An all-purpose wishing machine. Who decided the Moon Cell would only observe, I wonder? Forcing other functions upon what is primarily an observation device is generally impossible there. But the all-seeing eye is lacking the rest of its head. Though all-seeing, the Moon Cell is not a god. It obeys the laws of physics like everyone else. Such as the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Phenomena that are not observed do not exist. By the same token, all things that are seen must be seen. Even things that are not generally considered to exist. The Moon Cell is a very complete database. It records many ifs as well. With such operational power, the Moon Cell can both elucidate the past and provide foresight. What you are heading towards is knowledge of the future. A place where every human wish and desire exists. A place to spy upon the future. On that terrible knowledge, much like that what Laplace envisioned. The moon has no will of its own. Intelligence is a distortion of pure observation, after all. But if someone with a will could harness the Moon Cell, they would see all of their wishes granted. The validity of one's motives, or even the very presence of motive, is inconsequential. All that matters is that the winner of the Holy Grail War is strong. Just strength. An amoral priest like Kodomine would reduce human struggle to that. Does the Moon Cell, the Holy Grail, desire strength? Or is that just the conclusion reached by whoever created this priest? Hi, Raiders! Welcome to the end. That is all. Did it help? What all of you have been crawling over is nothing more than the Moon Cell's surface. Go forth, reigning master. Deep in the moon, the ring of fire awaits your answer. I will wait in front of the arena. If you find it hard to leave the Moon Cell, come find me. The arena, you say? I wonder if this will allow me to do the thing. Let's find out. I don't think it will. The Holy Grail War has ended, and all that remains is to proceed to where the Holy Grail lies. Upon our arrival, something's taking place that we do not understand. There is no reason for the system NPC to know anything more, but with our preparation, we should be fine. The shop and church will be usable. Go if you feel the need. If you want more training, you can feel free to use the arena, as it has been reopened. You no longer have to observe the 6-day prep period. Come and go as you please. Let's find out. Very well. If that is the case, I wish you well. Infinite Chimeric Lunar Sea! Welcome to the floor of infinity. Alright, time to find out if yes or no. Hi, Rise, what's up? So, this entire area is just a farm point. Enemies respawn infinitely, they respawn relatively fast, they give slightly better XP than, the previous floor, and, rare enemies will spawn over and over and over again. This is your, big farm point after everything's already done, because of course, why not have a big farm point after everything's done? Couldn't have thought to do that for us earlier, huh? Aw, darn. Alright, let's return. I'm just gonna double check, is there anything for me to buy? Pretty sure I have one of everything. Yup, sure do. Alright. Ronnie, it's time.
May I go with you? The fight is over, I see. Thank goodness, for I no longer wish to part from you.
That's right. The Ronnie route results in cute Coco waifu to come with us. Yes, the Holy Grail War is over. I don't see any more problems. Even I'm worried about Ronnie when she's away, so I don't object. Let's go. The entrance to the battlegrounds is still the same dreary elevator. The same elevator travels to the arena, but the display indicates a much greater depth. Once I'm inside, the doors close heavily, and the rectangular box begins to move. Hey, look at all the images on the sides.
あの選定の場から今まで本当に楽しかった。あの時は白状しちゃいますと最後まで残るのは無理だろうなって思ってました。
How rude.
本気でお守りしていましたけど、私英霊だと弱い方なので。でも悪霊のカテゴリーなら本気で最強なんですよ。ええ、これまでの相手なんて指先一つで片付けられます。でもご主人様、いえ、あなたがマスターになってくれてよかった。最後かもしれないので お礼を言います。卵の前という名前のまま私を英霊として育ててくれてありがとう。今までただの一人も私をここまで信頼してくれた人間はいませんでした。そしてマスターの戦いもこれで終わり。私は一つあなたに隠し事をしています。もう気づいているとは思いますけど、私はある魔術師に刺激されてこの聖杯戦争に参加したことがあるんです。その人もマスターと同じくらい弱っちい新米で
Tamamo cheated on us.
優しすぎて戦いに向いていなかったんです。何度も何度も殺されて、その度に初めからやり直して。おかしいですよね。マスターもあの人も始まりは同じだったのに、どうしてこんなに違ってしまったんでしょう。でもそれも終わり。持たざる者、戦いによって成長した人間の答えがこの先にあります。行きましょう、我が主。どうかあなたの手で答えてほしい。あなたたちの繁栄に1000年をかけただけの価値はあったのだと。
I wanted to make sure she got through all of her dialogue. I know this is a long path. But hey, look! Pictures of the Earth, and some circuit boards, and some scientists, and oh look, Dr. Wily. Cubes. Still expecting Kodomine? How? He's off at the entrance to the arena. How would that humble church priest possibly make his way into this red void of doom? Also, do you like how the moon cell has been blue the whole time and suddenly it's red? And now it's purple. Now you'll see the person who is truly waiting for us. People who play Fate Go knows who this is. It's an incredibly vast room. Actually, a space so cavernous could hardly be called a room. It's also strangely barren, save for the alien object that dominates the center of the space. It resembles a giant floating eye. Though it doesn't seem threatening, it's still somewhat disconcerting. The artifact of an alien civilization, the reason for its creation is beyond human comprehension. The core of the moon cell and the base of the seraph, the holy grail of the seven heavens, responsible for creating the seven seas. And in the space where the Holy Grail is enshrined, I can feel a sense of discord and dissonance. In front of the Holy Grail is a jumble of skewed stone pillars, which only adds to the tumultuous atmosphere. On the top of that pile of stone sits the lone figure of a man. He looks to be in his late 20s at most. His expression is blank enough to be totally unmemorable, but as an NPC, he doesn't need to make an...
Yeah, 待っていたよ。おめでとう。君が聖杯戦争の勝者だ。祝祭の一つでもあげたかったが、あいにくここにはそんな機能はなくてね。勝ち抜いた甲斐はないだろうが、私からの拍手だけで勘弁してくれ。
Clap for me.
でもこれだけは言える。私は誰よりも君を認め、君を称え、君を誇りに思っている。君こそが幾度も繰り返された聖杯戦争の中で最も素晴らしいマスターなのだと。
While he seems friendly, there's something more dangerous about him than any of my other opponents. It's a feeling of nothingness. There's something very strange about the man in front of me.
今の匂いはそっか。
Be careful, Master. I mean, that man has a servant with him.
Who's that? Castor. It's been a while, hasn't it? I see, so this is who you serve now. Now I understand why I couldn't see anything about their servant's data. You were jamming my signal. Tamamo stares at the man with a look of disgust on her face. Her melancholy is shocking in its intensity.
Don't worry about me, Master. It's all in the past now. The person here now is...
Yeah, I'm not the person I was then. You who saved me when I was weak are now nothing to me. Because now, I have a new servant now. It seems fate has a sense of humor. As I prayed for salvation, I was given an oddly appropriate servant. At the same time he mentions his servant, I can feel Ronnie tense up beside me.
The person before us is not an NPC. He is in actuality a master like you. But what would a master be doing here? Everything should have already been decided.
Well, to be absolutely accurate, I could just as easily say that you're a master who shouldn't be here too. How can a master who was defeated still be alive and present in this place? I must look into this later. Well, that's an issue for another day. At least one rule will still be enforced. Only one master may leave. And unfortunately, you are the one who will disappear. I advise you to enjoy what little time you have left. Now that's settled, I'm pretty sure the question on your mind is, what are you, right? A pertinent question worthy of an answer. Of course, I am both an NPC and a master. To be more accurate, I should say I was.
To have been an NPC who is now in possession of the power of a master must mean that...
She briefly glances my way, her eyes wide with shock. I suppose a more thorough explanation is necessary. The story is kind of long, but please bear with me. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Twice H. Peaceman, but please, just call me Twice.
Twice Peaceman, a 20th century scientist known for his advancements in neurosurgery. Thought to be the first spirit hacker, his hatred for war was such that he'd charge into battles to save lives.
The young girl beside me mutters under her breath as if reciting an encyclopedia entry to herself. So that's how history sees me. That I detested war. That part is definitely true. I hate war and will not tolerate its existence in any form. Not even the Harways are exempt from this fact. However, the truth only scratches the surface of my beliefs. Much like the moon cell, it seems that a single well-known function has erroneously defined my true ideals. It began when I was a student and obsessed with the history of humanity. I will never forget that the many shocking realizations I received during the course of my studies. The betrayals that make up history, combined with severe shell shock, gave him an abnormal hatred of war. Allow me to clarify. By him I mean Twice Peaceman, and he was in fact incredibly ill. When he saw any image depicting war, he was overcome with overwhelming panic attacks. It was almost as if he would get severe heart palpitations and his blood pressure would skyrocket. From the day he, meaning me, was consumed with an unease that became almost painful in its intensity. Even after becoming a scientist, he still risked death to save others because of that unbearable pain. That's the whole of it. What drove him during his time in the mortal coil was not a sense of righteousness. What drove me was one simple question. Why was I the only one who seemed to hate war? As I said, Twice was ill. There was no reason for him to risk his life so foolishly on the battlefield. Why did I involve myself in war? Was it to understand it better, especially considering the effect war had on me? Even while struggling with those questions, my mortal self still irrationally kept going into battle. And in the year 1999, a horrible neurological disease broke out in a city located in the Far East. Based on the available evidence, the cause of the outbreak was a biological weapon created by terrorists. Twice was called to the city to treat the victims of the attack when he was caught in a major attack himself. According to records made available to the public, the death toll was set at 5,000 people. The moon cell puts the real count at 8,200. As you can see, the government underreported the number a tad. I can see the exhaustion in his eyes. He seems to think his story is no more than an amusing anecdote. Although it's hard to tell if he's amused by the government's possible cunning or total incompetence. Anyway, that's when the person I am patterned after died. Twice ended up one of those 8,200. Something strange. I remember seeing the place where he died as if I too was one of those many victims. I can recall the sight of buildings set aflame, but when I was Twice, it was a scene I had experienced before. It was then that the mortal Twice, the person I was, recaptured the repressed memories of his childhood. In the 1970s, there was a clash of ethnic groups, arranged by major powers as a war by proxy. Twice was orphaned in the conflict. The place I remembered was hell. Everything around me was collapsing. Everything fell without any sense of morality and without any acknowledgement of the value of life. And there lies its brilliance. The young Twice must have concluded that life itself was truly a miracle. All that remained of that epiphany, I've already told you. Anyway, Twice was adopted and became a doctor. And though I tried to forget the past, that one fundamental truth was burned forever into my soul. Twice despised war more, and it became his intent to kill war itself. I got involved in war in order to end it. However, at the core of my very being wasn't a denial of the meaning of war. It wasn't that at all. Twice had seen many battlefields, the never-ending hell, the horrific evil perpetuated by humanity. A group of soldiers made to fight against an army many times their size, that was far more experienced and far more supplied. Forced to flee from guerrillas, a girl of 5 travels on foot through a jungle that few could hope to survive. Innocent victims of violence who rebuilt their village and their lives without help from anyone. I find it odd. Even though I hated war, I saw a great deal of strength emerge from the conflicts I witnessed. Now that I think on it, the mortal me was the same. All of Twice's great works were born of war. The many revelations, the uncounted number of rescues, none would have happened without the hell that is war. All the mortal me really did was bring back a number of things from the depths of hell. And in the end, I was a victim of a terrorist attack. But as I was dying, it all came back to me. I saw the burned fields of my home and recalled the tenacity that helped me go on, even as everyone else died. Yes, 3 seconds before my heart stopped, I finally received an answer to my question. It was never denial. What drove that Twice repeatedly into hell was because I, who eventually fell victim to violence, could no longer consider war the ultimate folly of mankind. Nothing can be hidden from the moon cell, and it records all it observes, including my final thoughts. As time went on, I was reborn as an NPC based on the record of my mortal life, just like any other NPC here. They may appear human, but they're nothing more than puppets playing assigned roles. I was the same. However,
The empty doll gained a heart.
maybe interacting with so many masters combined with my skills as a spirit hacker pushed me into consciousness. More likely, it was just an anomaly born from a single near impossibility. How it happened, I cannot say. However, once I gained true consciousness, the only thing I could do was act as Twice Peaceman would. The dream that I saw as I died, the ideal that existed only in my mind, I now exist only to make it a reality.
And what was in the dream that the Twice who died saw as his life slipped away from him?
Endless war, of course. To see mankind engage in a grand war of mutual extinction. He says his last statement in a matter-of-fact tone. There's no hint of insanity visible in his eyes. Naturally, and with obvious sincerity, he can somehow utter such a statement of absolute madness. The future has been corrupted. That is the conclusion I've come to after studying the Moon Cell's records. Anyone with a brain can see that the world is doomed. Humankind has long since passed its adolescent stage. Man was still maturing in the 1900s. A balance was struck between penury and prosperity, but it didn't last. The period of immaturity ended, but the golden age that should have followed never occurred. You do realize this, right? What has happened to the planet and its people should never have come to be. The spirit of mankind has stagnated, just as the world has. The future is rotting away like overripe fruit. When that fruit should be at its best, it has fallen to the ground. That's not the way history should be. That is how Rin and Leo describe the world. A place of peace, stupefying stagnation, and entropy. But is war really the answer? Because it is the most efficient way for mankind to progress. Stability and stasis only act to preserve a species. If the objective of modern man is merely survival, then there is no reason for them to exist. In my previous life, a great many lives and resources were consumed for the sake of convenience. Why? What was the need for such prosperity? Prosperity is just an illusion and exists only for its own sake. I expect that you agree with me. Humans are capricious creatures that must feed on dreams to evolve. The preliminaries illustrate this truth. In an artificial peace, ignorant aggressors revel in idleness. Humans can only mature after breaking free from their idleness. That seems to be the case for you. And now, ideologies are based on the detritus of an ignoble and forgotten past. That loss can't be overcome. You know, him being named Twice Peaceman really makes his genius co-jumbo philosophies continue to make sense, considering this is very clearly a Metal Gear Solid villain speech. I cannot allow such ideas to become the foundation of the next epoch of human civilization. Don't you agree? If the future isn't worth the suffering of the past, that would make man mere murderers. For the humans who lived in the distant past, the future that man is now planning cannot be accepted. The future that will be is a mistake. Humanity has not spent countless lives for the society that is to come. But we cannot reverse time. Since going back is impossible, there is no choice but to move forward. With that in mind, we will recreate the wars of the past and revise the history of the last 100 years. By having everyone fight in a war of survival, mankind's consciousness will be forced onto the correct path. My wish has become a firm conviction. As the winner of the Holy Grail War, your existence is proof of that.
This person's existence?
Ronnie whips her head around and stares at me as if demanding an answer, but I'm just as in the dark as she is. Originally, the Holy Grail War was a way for the Moon Cell to gather data. It didn't even have a name at first. The Moon Cell only wanted the best data samples. Having a war of survival was a good way to separate the chaff. However, up until now, the Magi who came here made excuses for their actions, but still killed, then fled. Truly an atrocity, wouldn't you say? Until I won, this world was buried under a mountain of corpses. After all, being an NPC, I get the luxury of continuing on even if I die. I watched their fights as an NPC, and when I became conscious, I fought battles of my own, weak though I was. After several dozen fights, I finally reached this elevated seat. After that, my story becomes simpler. Manipulating the rules of this place, I created the Holy Grail War, a battle of survival from which only a single person may emerge victorious. I remade this world into a place where the limits of human potential can be pushed beyond one's imagination. And then, you appeared. The weakest master in the tournament. You managed to defeat the king of the world. You were totally unsuited for this ordeal in the beginning, just as I was. As a nameless figure drawn from masses, you've become the one in whose hands rests the fate of the world. Your soul has been tempered by crisis and conflict. Your new strength is a testament to the potential of man. When mankind reaches the heights you have, they'll move forward, clearing a path for those yet to come. Now, it's time for you to claim the Grail for your own. You have earned the right to show the world the true path. Shout out so that all can hear you say that war is necessary, that humanity can and must evolve quickly. Just input this one little phrase into the Moon Cell. Don't stop. After that, you can do whatever you wish. Whether you become a king or a god is up to you. You have my blessing as your choice will bring endless war. The wounds suffered by humanity after losing countless lives in endless conflicts run deep. And if the only reward for such suffering is stagnation, then humanity deserves to be cast into a new void. Some sacrifices cannot go unheeded. Mankind must be inflicted with wounds that they will never forget. Twice's words seem to freeze me in place, unable to think or act in any meaningful fashion. His words convey a self-righteousness that transcends any sort of petty bias or prejudice. However, for a reason I can't explain, I can't dismiss his ideology as evil or insane. It might be because Twice himself doesn't see his idea as some kind of righteous cause. Twice Peaceman, a digital recreation of a once-living being, just as I am. Putting aside the fact that this person is a cyber ghost like me, my thoughts are still a confused jumble. How exactly should I respond to this man? Before I can speak, a question occurs to me. As a winner in a previous Holy Grail War, why is he still here? He has a wish he once granted, so why doesn't he just claim the Grail? Why have someone else go in his stead? An excellent question. The answer is that I can't. If I touch the Holy Grail, my wish would be rejected. According to the Moon Cell, my existence is considered nothing more than an irregular data stream. I can fool the low-level processes, but if I access the core, I'd be seen as an NPC and immediately deleted. My victories would mean nothing. I need a legitimate master, someone who can make my wish a reality. Got some bad news for you, buddy.
Any irregular data would be deleted. That would mean...
What emotion did her words express? Her mumbling sounded very much like a dejected sigh. Ronnie stares at me, her eyes wide open in shock and horror. And that's why I've stopped here. I've been waiting for years at the gate to the core, awaiting one I deem worthy. Upon reflection, I wasted a great deal of time. I was able to plant the seeds of war on Earth from here by manipulating and manufacturing information. But it was a case of too little too late. Also, my methods were unreliable and on too small of a scale. With full access to the Moon Cell's records and my ability to divine the future, I can bring about Armageddon. Of course, I don't intend for everyone to die. I simply wish to instigate a war that anyone can survive. You can see it through the gate. There lies the moon's core, an object made from the purest photonic crystal. The results of the simulations of Earth's future run by the Moon Cell are stored as light within the core. The one who reaches the core has the right to choose the course of the future from infinite possibilities.
Oh, pick the one where the spider wakes up.
Don't actually pick the one where the spider wakes up. I'm sure you understand now. Whoever claims the Moon Cell can manipulate reality as they see fit. This object, which envisioned an infinite number of possible futures, can reshape the fabric of reality. If what he says is true, then the Holy Grail could accurately be considered the mind and will of God. Nothing is impossible. It's truly an object of unimaginable power with infinite possibilities. Yes, you do understand. It has many other names. The Photonic Abyss, Angelica Cage. Take your pick. You have earned the right to claim it as your own. Now, please proceed. Unleash the perfect storm upon the world, to undo the lie of stability, rewrite history as I have said. Twice looks in my direction, an expression of earnest confidence reflected on his face. Almost as if he is sure that I share his belief that war is the answer. This man, while despising war and violence, could not ignore the immediate results that war brings. This supposed comrade, who gained strength through fighting much like I did, clears a path for me. However, No. I mean, he makes a valid point. I love how the last one is like, I mean, maybe he's right. Hey, the answer is simple. Fuck you and your philosophy. I came here to start my harem of waifus. The future and evolution of man. Neither of these things seem to mean anything to me in a meaningful way. And even if I was someone great in my mortal life, I have no right to claim kingship in this era or any other. The well-being of the world and of mankind, there's no way I could bear such a tremendous burden. Even if I choose to accept the burden, it's not right to take it on because others refuse to do so. That's why my mind is occupied with thoughts of what's precious to me, a cherished, irreplaceable existence. If I could protect that which I hold most dear, then that should dictate the path I choose to walk. I can see her in my mind's eye, a lonely doll, broken in body and spirit from the beginning. But I'm sure that the day will come when she'll be able to smile again, that she'll be able to feel again. It is that one thing that I cherish dearly, the minor wish I discovered in the Holy Grail War. It needs to be within my reach. While that mindset might be the cause of the current stagnation, is it so wrong to want to embrace someone you hold dear? The war that Twice wants to bring about will hurt the one I care about most. I cannot allow that to happen. Your conclusion is overly sentimental, don't you think? I expected that, but still, give it a bit more thought. Servant, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Do you think I'm evil and should be eradicated?
哀れですね。
Are you seriously trying to win me over? Don't waste your breath. I am wholly committed to my master.
Caster's reaction is totally expected. It's a relief to see that whatever the situation, she's always herself.
Master, to be honest, I don't really think too much about the consequences when I kill. Even before I was a servant, I killed untold numbers of people. I might hold the world record for murder. So how do I put this? I don't want to say something ignorant like I'd kill for you. The person I knew is gone. That man from the past who hated war above all things has disappeared forever. And though I don't like even thinking about it, if you were to fall, I'd never forgive the one who killed you. In this case, I must side with my master. No, I have to admit that you've always been right, master. You need to live your life as you think best, Goshujin-sama. And if anything happens, I'll deal with it.
マスター、ご命令を。
As for his servant, it may be on a totally different magnitude, but I will win.
Her encouraging words erase any hesitation I had. All I can do now is trust in my feelings and move on. Suck my dick, I'm here for waifus. The true route. The waifu route. I don't understand. Unlike any other human, you are the embodiment of everything I believe in. That might seem to be the case, but even if we walk the same path, our feelings may be completely opposite. I must have died in the same incident that took Twice. However, I learned different lessons in my death. Sadly for you, you cannot escape. Only a single master may leave the moon cell once they've made it here. Once the participants have been reduced to one, permission is granted to leave the Seraph. This is the one thing I cannot change. The moon cell has made this rule a fundamental requirement for entry. In other words, there is still you and me. As long as both of us exist, neither can escape this place. So there is no path open to you but the one that leads to the Holy Grail. And given your capricious nature, I cannot relax yet. There is no guarantee your potential will shine through. The world has reached its limit as well. Soon it will be too late to overcome the stagnation of man. However, Twice Peaceman is wrong. If the moon cell automatically erased irregular data, I can't go inside. Just like Twice, if I pass through that gate, I'll be eliminated. And if Twice somehow wins, he'll gain nothing. In the end, there's no winner for this fight. But even knowing that, I'm not big on brainwashing as it can end in self-destruction, but your spirit might survive the process. It doesn't matter to me if you resist. If you want your wish to come true, you'll have to defeat me anyway. And such is destiny. At the end of things, this is the conclusion we arrive at. Now then, it's time to bring this chapter in the Holy Grail War to a close. To the victor goes the spoils. That is the way of humanity, something that will never change.
生死のかかった戦いでこそ人は精神を成長させうる。人類にとって私は悪である。だが生命とは天輪するもの。 善を生かすために子に救いをもたらすために私はこの力を授かった。
Gonna laugh when his servant is the ultimate evil spirit? Oh, how wrong you are.
見るがいい、ボンピャクのサーバントよ。ムーンセルがその蔵書から私に与えた救いの姿を。来たれ救世の英霊、この世でただ一人生の苦しみより下脱した回答者よ。
Behold! The Buddha. The exact opposite of an evil spirit. If it is for the purpose of creating the path mankind will follow to Dharmata, and thus to enlightenment, then I will come forth to grant salvation to all things, and guide them with the might of my Vajra.
あれがあの人についた最後の答え。世界を救うなんて馬鹿げた考えの行き着く先だったんですね。でも倒さないと神様の助けとかもう時代遅れだし、何より私の新しい愛のために。あ、でも私ちょっと足を引っ張ることになっちゃうかもしれません。その時は助けてくださいね、ご主人様。私は守ることばっかりで一度も守られたいとか思いませんでした。それが間違いだったんです。マスターとサーバントであっても手を取り合ってこその関係です。ですからここは一つ今までで一番のラブ度を見せつけちゃいましょう。
Haven't you ever played a JRPG? God can't stand in the face of true love of some teenager.
ええ、もう過去のことは吹っ切りました。今の私はご主人様一筋。もう他のことなんてどうでもいいんだから。
The words of my servant served to encourage me, and in the end, Twice was right about one thing. There are some things that conflict can help to grow. And the most important to me is the bond that now exists between me and my servant. Regardless of the strength of the enemy or the consequences failure will have on the future, I won't back down. I will face this one last battle with the one who has been with me from the beginning by my side. Oh god, he has the Sharingan!
華麗に片付けるといたしましょう。
この戦いをもって私の聖杯戦争は完結する。
Live or die by the sword.
行きます。最後の力をマスター。
来なさい、最弱のサーバントよ。彼同様、君の健闘もまた私には誇らしい。
You're expecting Lucifer? Nope, you get Buddha. You get the savior. The exact opposite of what you thought. Okay, now. So, one thing to note about the savior here. One thing to know about the savior here is that he automatically wins after, I think, 10 turns if you can't beat him by that point. He will end the fight. His Noble Phantasm is so powerful, it is an instant win. So we've got a time limit on this fight. Did I mention savior classes are OP as fuck? The reason they don't exist in Fate Go is because they OP. So yes, this fight is technically a DPS check. Also, this guy has more health than Gawain did, so there's also that. Yes, literally you have to defeat Buddha before they decide to give a shit about the fight and end it. That's how this fight goes. So then, let's force him to give a shit, shall we? This seems like a good first turn.
お任せください。後悔してくださいね。挑戦よ砕け。
Get stunned, idiot.
彫像の出来上がりです。あなたの魔力はしてもらいますよ。
Fucking chunked, that's right. Gawain would be fucked in this fight? Gawain would lose this. This looks like it'll be over in 3 turns? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, don't worry. Like I said, when it comes to the late game, Tamamo is the strongest. The strongest. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and fought a cave here. There we go.
お任せください。私を傷つけられると思っているんですか？
Sunyata. You tried to hurt Tamamo with magic damage. That's cute. Oh, he spammed attacks. This could be bad. Ow. Keep that magic strength up. Uh-oh. That's one. Luckily for us, we're good to go. Now, how do I want to do? By the way, I noticed that when he uses attack, he absorbs HP. That must have been the buff he gave himself. Let's just, you know. Just go ahead and, bop him. Samadhi. Oh, that was his counterattack move. That's what that was. Yeah, that makes sense. Chaos Heaven! Oh, what's wrong? You're guarding so much. Are you scared? Got a problem there, buddy? All right, everybody, let's dab on the Buddha as we win.
お任せください。後悔してくださいね。肉片も残らないかな。
I can hear the sounds of battle, and though I've been defeated many times, it's still painful all the same. But I have no regrets. Just as life is an endless cycle, war too will endure. You are proof of that. Twice, who even now still holds tightly to his beliefs, slowly begins to fade away like all the others. But whether he's following his own rules or those of the Moon Cell, I cannot say for sure. Now, go and touch the Holy Grail. You'll come to understand many things once you do. Wantonly consuming lives, thriving without a purpose, our future blossoms like a flower by the roadside. Whether that turns out to be right or wrong, I would like for you to see and judge with your own eyes, if we were both truly righteous or not. Goodbye, big boss. And in an instant, I thought I saw something that was truly him, but it might have just been an illusion. Without any time to contemplate what was happening, Twice Peaceman passes into oblivion. His servant, too, will soon join him in the void. Oh, really? Without exception, all life will perish. All living things are trapped in a cycle of suffering and death. The one who sought enlightenment through strength and perseverance still has an untainted soul. But there is more than one path. Just as good and evil have value, the beauty of the world will endure. King of blood-drenched battle, in Nirvana let us witness the end of the world, for there lies your salvation. Yeah, notice the difference with him is he didn't get absorbed and destroyed by the Moon Cell. With an expression much like his master's, the servant fades away like a flower losing its petals. The only person to have escaped the cycle of suffering, seen by some as a savior of the spirit of humanity. I see now. He did not support Twice's ideals. Instead, he was showing compassion for the soul of the human known as Twice Peaceman.
With this, it's finally over.
The girl's relief is obvious in her tone of voice. However, the ending has yet to be revealed. There remains one last thing to do. The Holy Grail. The war will only come to an end once the victor claims it for their own.
That's right. I had forgotten all about that.
The smile on Ronnie's face is proof that she's yet to realize that the winner of this war and Twice are the same. The moment I touch the Holy Grail, the Moon Cell, I'll be identified as irregular data and erased from memory. The thought of leaving this girl who finally learned to feel is painful, but some things cannot be changed. However, even if I am to be deleted, there should still be a small window of opportunity. Time enough to sneak in a modest wish. To extinguish the remaining fires of war that twice had set ablaze. To put an end to the senseless bloodshed of the Holy Grail War once and for all. The moon cell automaton, the very mind of God, I will seal it away so that no one will ever be able to access it again. And also to return her, the last true survivor, safely to her mortal existence. A number of wishes race through my mind, but I won't have the time to ask for them all. I can only ask for the most important of my desires. But any wish I make will be influenced by the experiences I gain fighting in this war. I make my way to the Holy Grail, the object that is both bane and boon to the one fortunate enough to survive.
As a fallen master, I cannot go with you, but I will wait here for your return. Please, come back quickly.
The gentle expression on her face puts my worries at ease, as no soulless doll is capable of a smile so alive. Even if I don't return, she can live the rest of her life as a real person capable of human emotions. And with that, I move on towards the gate without further hesitation, and without looking back. Before me stands the Holy Grail. I slowly extend my hand and place it on the core of the moon cell. No, my data goo! The instant I make contact with it, I am drawn inside the Holy Grail. To be more accurate, I'm absorbed into it like water being absorbed by a sponge. In the short time before I'm erased from existence, my consciousness is immersed into the moon cell. I can see everything that exists within it. Every piece of information, every observation, every conclusion. The sheer volume of information and ideas stored in the moon cell forms an intricate collage that no human could decipher, though I do sense a pattern. In fact, I cannot say that Twice's interpretation of human history as recorded by the moon cell was wrong. For war has always brought change, but in this day and age, humanity has mistaken stagnation for peace. And throughout it all, the moon cell continues to silently record what it sees without ever taking action. After endlessly analyzing the data it records, it files away its conclusions and resumes its role of voyeur. It is there on Earth that the whole of human existence is contained. Whatever triumphs and tragedies befall mankind in their world, the moon cell continues to silently observe and record. It is that strength, that force of existence that Twice failed to see and understand. But now is not the time to become emotional. I have to tell the Holy Grail what my wish is. Input complete. I was able to enter my wish without a single mistake, I think. Now all there is for me to do is wait for the end of my tenuous existence to come. However, oddly, the time of my death doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon. Being one with the moon cell, I share its unique view of time where infinity can be contained in a single second. So even the briefest moment seems somewhat more drawn out than normal. But even with that, It...
You're not being ripped into virtual shreds yet. Could that guy have been wrong?
I can hear my servant mutter into my ear. They aren't there in person, but as a part of the Holy Grail. My guess is that my servant had somehow slipped unseen into the Holy Grail the same time I entered.
But of course, I'll stay by my master's side right up to, and including, the very end. I mean, what kind of horrible wife would I be if I didn't help my dear master perform their final duty? No matter how weak I may be, I will continue to fight on until my body is turned to dust.
So that's what she's doing. With the additional presence, the time the moon cell needs to finish the elimination process is increased. She came here to help me one last time, no matter the cost to herself. Some things will never change. However, a delay this long can't be the result of my servant's presence. Something else must be going on. Since I'm connected to the moon cell, it shouldn't be too difficult to find out what's going on. In what seems to be only a heartbeat, the whole of my consciousness arrives as one long data file.
This data's all about you, right? What does this term mean? Cryogenic storage.
The info in this data file concerns a patient with a fatal brain disease that affects memory retention. And the only doctor familiar with the surgical procedure used to treat the disease died in a terrorist attack. Until another surgeon could replicate the procedure, the patient was put into cryogenic storage. If there is a living human that shares my exact identity, then I may be more than random bits of data. That must be the reason why I'm still around. The moon cell needs more time to analyze this new information. But I'm sure that guy didn't come here as a Magus. I'm just a copy of a person trapped in an endless dream. Whatever the case, my fate is almost assured. I'm sure that my time here is fast coming to an end. However, there remains enough time to send out one final message. No music, just credits.
これはあなたのデータですよね。
I wonder what will become of Ronnie after I disappear. Will the bond we share compel her to search for me? The boy currently frozen in an endless dream has never met Ronnie, but I'm sure that they'll become friends. And even if it turns out she no longer needs me, that'd be okay as well. Black Scene. And there we go. Fate Extra. The Tamamo Route. I hope everyone enjoyed their time in Fate Extra with me. I hope anyone that had never played this game before enjoyed the story. I hope everyone that's played the game before enjoyed seeing it again. And hopefully my voice and reading was up to par for you guys. You're playing CCC next and live translating the entire game, right? Oh, totally, guys. Tamamo and Ronnie Route. Yes, of course. Hey, look, chat, you wanted hard mode with Tamamo, so I chose hard mode by doing Ronnie's route, which is definitely harder, in my opinion, than doing Rin's route. I do enjoy this game's story. The real thing that bogs down the game is the speed of the combat, which is why we were fast-forwarding so much, and it's a little grindier than it should have been. I guess, to be fair, this was basically Type Moon's first attempt at making a game with gameplay other than just a visual novel, so... What makes Rin's route easier? The servants that you face. You face different servants, which I think overall are easier to face. Let's put it this way. I think Orukado is a difficult fight. Especially at the time that you face her. You face her in week 4, and your last opponent was Nursery Rhyme, who's a very easy fight. She's honestly one of the harder fights in the game. On top of that, facing Tosaka with the Gay Bulge on her side, Ku has the ability to just straight up insta-kill you if he gets a lucky proc. He is the only enemy in the game that can just insta-kill you out of nowhere. Well, except for Buddha. The difference is Buddha's is on a timer, while Ku's is just, I guess you got unlucky, buddy. And you don't face either of them on the Rin route. Ku channeling his inner SMT. Well, there is a certain monster we didn't fight, but there might be a New Game Plus playthrough as Nero. Might be. Hey, look, Tamamo's mirror is in the middle of Unlimited Blade Works. Isn't that nice? Apparently Emiya learned how to make a mirror. So yeah, mainly comes down to the servants you face on Ronnie's route, I think, being harder.
I'm not sure I follow you. You're saying that there's another you? I'm assuming that's a good thing. But to me, you're the only master that matters, so another you wouldn't affect me one bit. If it'll make you feel any better, I wouldn't mind serving that other master, but... For now, I'll just concentrate on being with you until the end, master.
My servants' faith in me has been unshakable all this time. Their devotion has been overwhelming at times, but right now I'm truly grateful for it. Although I'm relieved to know that there's another me out there, I'm sad that this me has to disappear. The disillusion of my current self has begun. Outside of the Holy Grail, Ronnie's voice begins to fade away. As what makes me is compressed into the smallest unit of illicit data, I think on my slumbering self. When he wakes up, his memory will be a blank page, with no friends or family to help or guide him. I wonder how that strange new world will appear to him. Nothing about the past will have any meaning. What am I saying? If that's the only thing to be lost, then I'd be okay. Although I'll miss those I've met along the way, the world will still be here. And as long as the path before me remains, I'll continue to walk it. There are no grades given for goals and wishes. No matter how small they may seem to others, as long as I keep moving forward, they'll eventually come to fruition. As it is, the desire for that wish to become reality that will keep you going until the very end. I have no worries. There will always be those who strive to change the world, those I care about. I'll be able to live with them and eventually move forward into the future with them. I can't believe how promising and hopeful the future sounds. I can't wait for it to arrive. Fiend. This data will carry certain items over into a new game. Basically, this will carry over all my outfits and all my money into a new game. If I wish to do so. And there it is! That is the final piece of Fate Extra's content on the Tamamo Route. We did it. Once more, I hope everyone enjoyed the playthrough of Tamamo, from humble beginnings where we got our ass kicked by the weakest of enemies to absolutely dominating Gawain as though he were an insect, because Tamamo with maximum magic is very strong. Like I said, Tamamo goes from the weakest servant to the strongest once you hit the late game. Now, alternatively, if we do another playthrough and we use Nero, we will go from the strongest servant to the second strongest. So, we'll see what things await us with Nero. For the time being, though, that was Fate Extra.